America is trying to prove its relevance in the Pacific, it seems, while it scrambles to offset China's influence in the region. According to a top White House official, America has planned to propose a new initiative which will essentially address Pacific Island issues. The proposal will be unveiled next week. The statement has been issued by Kurt Campbell, who is the Indo-Pacific coordinator at the U.S. National Security Council. Campbell was reported saying, and I quote, "Washington is stepping up across the board its engagement with Pacific Island nations. It will address their concerns over everything from relations with Washington to illegal fishing, climate change and regional security." He further said that the Indo-Pacific is an area of enormous strategic importance. The plan will pave the way for an open set of engagements with the 18-member Pacific Island Forum, Japan and major Western powers. The announcement came after China was dealt a setback in the region. Last month, 10 Pacific Island states rebuffed a proposal for a regional pact. China had offered extensive economic assistance in exchange for a pact that would deepen its role in regional security and economy. The deal could have pulled them all into Beijing's orbit. Concerns over China's increasing regional influence persist after the Solomon Islands signed a security pact with Beijing earlier in the year. China also finalized a pact with the Samoa Islands last month. Australia, New Zealand, Japan and the United States raised concerns that Beijing could establish a military presence in the Pacific. Australia fears that the deal could lead to a Chinese naval base being established less than 2,000 kilometers off its northeast coast. But the Solomon Islands leader has denied that. The pact with China would allow a military base next month. In fact, when the Pacific Island Forum leaders meet in Fiji's capital, the Solomon Islands Security Pact with China will be discussed. The upcoming Pacific Islands Forum leaders meeting could discuss whether more efforts are required on the security front. The Prime Minister of Samoa, which also signed a bilateral agreement with China last month, has said that Pacific security issues should and can be dealt by countries in the region. She also added that China remained an attractive economic partner given its massive size. And now for more details, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live from New York. Susan, thanks so much for joining us. My first question, what can you tell us about this new initiative from the U.S. specifically to address Pacific Island issues, especially since concerns over China's increasingly regional influence have come to light?
Right. You know, it seems like after the United States laid out the red carpet for those 10 ASEAN leaders last month, it got a better understanding and sort of a wake-up call on how to deal with this pivot to Asia policy that the Biden administration has been talking about for the past year. And it wants to be eloquent, it wants to be coherent. And, you know, just like Anthony Blinken, again, at the end of last month, tried to lay out this grand China initiative. And now it's trying to, you know, sort of move towards dealing with these Pacific Islands as well. The challenge for the United States will be to understand, and I think this initiative will sort of understand that, is that these are countries that a lot of them don't necessarily trust Western governments, institutions either, or those values that at least the Biden administration are hoping to impose on them, even when it comes to climate change. While they don't want to see a rise in China in the region and they welcome the United States as a counterbalance, what they are looking for is sort of a profitable, non-aligned alliance when it comes with the United States that'll be a counterbalance to China, where they commit to neither, but also, you know, have their own standing. And, you know, after years of neglect by the United States and sort of trying to be very idealistic, imposing or asking for, you know, Western human rights values, so on and so forth, China, at the end of the day, sort of saw this vacuum and stepped in. And so I think the United States kind of understands that, hopefully, and will try to pivot and work with these islands and island countries and you know, move forward and try to make a pivot. We'll wait and see, but I think that'll probably be the main challenge.
Absolutely. Susan, thanks so much for all those inputs and thanks for joining us on WION World is One at this hour. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.